You're tuning into Ready, Set, Reset, where our goal is to help listeners reset their outlook by providing a closer look into behavioral and mental health in our youth. We visit with a range of professionals across the field to get their input and insight on what's really going on. Our first series kicks off with the Student Mental Health Chronicles, which features school counselors from across Texas, from public to private. This podcast is for educational and motivational purposes only and is not a substitute for professional training or personal therapy. Hello, and welcome to the Ready, Set, Reset podcast. I'm your host, Sierra O'Neill, licensed professional counselor and founder of Reset IOP. With me is my co-host, Mrs. Penny Haight, licensed professional counselor supervisor and owner of Counseling by Penny and Associates.
Hi, I'm Penny, a former school counselor of 9 years. You are tuning in to an episode of our inspiring podcast that spotlights school counselors and the incredible work they do day in and day out with students. The content you will hear on this podcast is focused on the struggles in schools related to the mental health of youth. We'll be providing weekly insights, resources, and solutions to address the growing and ongoing issues that will support other school counselors, parents, teachers, and students.
All right. So our guest today is school social worker, Miss Elaine Campos, here with us today from Judson ISD. Welcome, Miss Campos. How are you feeling today?
I'm feeling really good. I love being at these conferences because I get to learn everything, see new items, and then I met you guys, so I'm feeling really good.
Awesome. Well, it's great to meet you as well. So before we jump into things today, Miss Campos, can you tell us a bit about yourself and your experience as a school social worker?
So I am a licensed master social worker. I've been a licensed master social worker for about 3 years, but I've been in the school system for about 10 years. I started as an attendance clerk and then secretary as I went through my college. And then I finally became a social worker. So I've dealt with the McKinney-Vento program, the school age parent program. I have worked at a high school, and now I'm here at the alternative school, which I really do love.
Wow, you've seen every aspect of the school, like starting in the office, working in the office. What did you notice in your early years, like working in the office with kids that were coming in? Because then you get to hear why they're out. You get to see the discipline issues. Like you would get a front row seat to like a lot of the issues. And also usually the nurse's office is very close to so you see all that.
Yes, so I really enjoyed my time at being an attendance clerk. I feel like that's when I really got to know the students, and it opened to my eyes that I wanted to be a social worker, because when I was greeting the students, I noticed who was late, why were they late, what was going on at home. And I think a story that really touched me, it was my third year at Gus Garcia Middle School, and I asked a student why were they late every single day, or why didn't they come to school, and they told me it was because of the home issues. And that's kind of opened up my eyes to how can I help even more. And because before that, I didn't even know what a social worker was. I didn't see one at my school. So when I turned to them, they kind of said, you need to be it. You're diving deeper into the issues of why you're late. Let's send you to truancy court. Let's do this. It's more, let's fix the problem so we could get you into school. So being that everyone in the school, it kind of intertwines with each other. Everyone works with everything. So I feel like, sorry if I went to.
No, that's exactly what I wanted to say is I think that so many times we work in bubbles and we, think, oh, again, I'm going to talk to my school counselors, but you can talk to the attendance clerk, you can talk to the nurse, you can talk to, of course, the teachers, but there's so many other people that have, because the kid can be different in PE than they are in the classroom. And I just think the more that you collaborate with the people on campus, the better it is for the kid.
It is. Yes, I truly believe it. It's just one huge support system, I believe.
Awesome. Well, I love your passion and kind of where things started, leading you to where you are. Just seems like you're just so genuine in these minutes that I've met you. So if we go ahead and jump into things, Ms. Campos, what would you say your biggest struggle is in the schools when it comes to supporting students overall?
I believe because I'm in an alternative school, it's a little bit different. I only see students could be less as for 20 days all the way up to 90 days, depending on how much they are placed. And so I'm working with these students and, we create these goals, these plans, and they leave. So we kind of try to do a transition program where I go out and I go to the campuses to meet with them.
Okay.
but it's something that's not doable all the time.
Okay.
I mean, I still have the kid. We have about more like 80 to 100 kids on campus,
Okay.
and then I have about 100 to 200 kids off campus at the end of the year. So being able to say, okay, I got to leave, I have to go to a different high school and then leave my campus, I kind of feel like I fall short and I leave my kids behind.
Okay.
But then, I don't fall short on seeing these where I have to go to, because we have three different high schools, we have more middle schools, and then sometimes we get elementaries.
Oh.
So there's always something that's missing or kids that I'm not able to put all my energy or focus on because I have to do other things. That is something that I struggle in when it comes to supporting my kids.
Okay.
I love the follow up. I know it's hard. That's something that we want to do in our IOP, that we want to make sure that we are following up on the kids that leave us and to make sure that they are being successful with the strategies and skills and all the things when they go back to school. Um, so, could you think about some tips for other counselors dealing with, because you deal with the most extreme behaviors, dealing with behaviors that school age children would have?
Some tips would be showing them that you care. I feel like a lot of our kids are repeaters. They've been a DAP multiple times. So they're like, oh, I don't want to go back to this school. They don't care about me here. They just, you get that label that, oh, you're a DAP kid. So, I mean, just having compassion with them, giving them the resources they need. I always tell people, when you go back to your main school, get connected, go through CIS, go through sports, go through clubs, because that's when you find the support you need.
Yeah.
So that's one thing, is just connecting our students to different resources at the campus.
I hear you say, like, helping them to belong,
Yeah.
right? Like, I think every human wants to feel like they belong, and you're doing the work to help them connect and feel like they're belonging.
Or that is their home campus. Because sometimes they're like, I get stories that they're like, yeah, JK is my home campus. And I'm like, no, it doesn't work that way. Your home campus is your home campus. These are the people that care about you.
Right. And like you said, but that label when they go back to school makes them feel better. Like, oh, I'll just go back because it just seems like, Miss Campos and everybody else there cared a little bit more. And I know the environment's smaller too, right? And then the goal is to focus on the issues at hand and then get them back to school. So I know that can be tough. So when you think about it further, I guess this would, for you as a social worker, this might lay in two areas. So in your environment and I guess transitioning the kids back to school, what are the biggest struggles with, I guess either the staff at your, at the alternative school or the struggles with the staff members once the kids go back to school?
The biggest trouble is probably keeping up with the kids. These high schools have so many kids. It's hard to see one kid all the time and see their needs. Because you do have social workers there, but you're talking about a school with 2,000 kids in there. It's very hard for us to keep up. So I could understand the struggle, but sometimes we need to, focus more on students.
Right. Right. Okay. Okay. And then when you think about, the behaviors and warning signs of certain kids, whether that be repeat students that may come back to, DAP, what are the key indicators or warning signs that maybe other social workers or school counselors should be on the lookout for when it comes to mental health more specifically?
I feel a lot of our students, the warning signs is them saying they want to come back. I always, when I when a student goes back to the home campus and the student has expressed to me, I love it here, it's smaller, the teachers care about me, I feel like I belong here, I let them know so they could focus on that student and show that they care there too. Because those are warning signs. They are expressing that they want to be back. If we don't listen to them, we'll see that student back in a week. And it has happened multiple times.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. And then just kind of lastly, as we look at things further, what advice would you have for a new social worker or a new school counselor, getting into the field with a focus on mental health?
I feel like self-care. Self-care is the number one thing. I feel like when we work at school systems and we can't really, change what's going on, I feel like that could take a toll on us and we could bring it home and then it could affect our family, what we're doing. So always just leaving that behind at the school and then starting again in the morning of. I feel like that's more important than anything, is finding an outlet on, because sometimes our work is really hard and it gets really, overwhelming. We have feelings too. We get sad. We have those emotions, countertransference, everything. And so if we don't take care of that, we're not going to be able to take care of our students.
What are some of your self care go tos?
I started running. I didn't like running before, but now I feel like that just kind of lets me just focus everything out. And then when I'm done, I'm ready to focus here. I have a little girl, so I'm able
Okay.
to take care of my little girl.
Yeah.
Or sometimes just taking her to the park is just something, and just see the happiness of, how my baby is
Yeah.
is my outlet.
Awesome, awesome. And sometimes it takes that, just getting out in the sun and just putting your phone down, not really, thinking about much or anything. But then you made a good point again of like, being able to have some type of disconnect or, separation when you go home. And then the next day is a new day, and just kind of pick up where you left off. So I feel like we've had a great conversation today, Ms. Campos. I really have appreciated your insight and your outlook on things when it comes to working with kids that are at that alternative school. Because that's something definitely different. And as a social worker, you guys, do the very similar work, but it's like you guys go a step further. I feel like, when it really comes to making sure those kids are connected and have that additional, additional resources and support. So, before we close, if you have one thing to leave with our listeners, what would that be?
It'll probably be just keep going, fight for your kids no matter what, and always be the advocate that you need to be for our kids because sometimes we're the only ones that are there.
Yeah.
So just keep fighting a good fight.
Keep fighting. Hey, I hear you. All right, Ms. Campos. Again, I appreciate your time today. And so, for you guys out there, that's all for us today. Thanks for tuning in and taking time out of your day to listen in on mental health. And remember, sometimes all it takes is resetting your outlook. Be sure to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Ready, Set, Reset 1. Follow us on Instagram at ready_set_reset1 for mental health tips, laughs, and motivation. And if you know a student or have a child in the Fort Worth area that could use some additional support, visit our website at sunflowersigma.com to see if Reset IOP is right for them. You will find the resources discussed in today's podcast in the description area.